welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a bunch of different kinds of squishies. So let's get on into it. Okay, so for our first squishy, I'm going to be teaching you how to make paper squishies. So paper squishies are just paper squishies, and I made this Dorito one. This one is filled with fluff or tail stuffing. And then this one is filled with a plastic bag. Okay, so to make the squishies, you're going to need packing tape. This is the packing tape I'm using. You're also going to want regular paper. You can really use a lot of different types of paper. It just has to be pretty thin so you can squish it best. And then for fillings, so for fillings you're going to want either bag, which can be pretty squishy. You can also use like old pieces of foam. You'll see where I got this foam from in a little bit when I teach you how to make a different kind of squishy. And so you can choose those, or you can also use polyfill, which is what I'm going to be using today. This is just the polyfill I have. It's just fluff. You can also, like, if you have an old pillow, really anything will work. It's just polyfill. And of course, a pair of scissors. So let's go ahead and start how to make it. And if you want your squishy to be colorful, I do recommend having some either crayons or colored pencils, or markers, whatever really you want to use to color it. So let's go ahead and get started. Start off, you're going to need a piece of paper, and you're just going to fold your piece of paper in half. And now from here, you're just going to color whatever design. So I don't recommend doing a lot of curves like this, otherwise it's not going to be very well taped. I recommend doing something more square or making something basic. So I'll color and I'll be back once I've colored it. You can see I've colored this all in red as a little square on the point that's folded, and this is the open side. That makes it easier for you. And then you're going to take what I like to do is actually make little Legos. So these are actually the exact same two colors. So you're going to want to get not the exact color, but a little bit off. I'm just digging through my cans here, trying to find a good color. So once you have it, I'm just going to use this orange here. You're just going to make these little dots, and it'll start to kind of look like a Lego. And that's what I'm making. It's just a really cute idea that's really basic. So once you've done that, if you want, you can cut it out first, or you can flip it to the back and color it. But what I'm going to do is I recommend cutting it out first. So just take your scissors and go around the edges. And see, these aren't the straightest things ever, and it's okay to go outside the lines because you can cut it then really straight. Just like that. So there's that. And when you flip it over then, you can color it, or you can leave it plain. I'm just going to do a quick coloring. And it shouldn't take really long. These are actually pretty quick squishies to go by. Some squishies like that you can make like these took longer because they're more detailed and took longer. It's much more coloring to do. Colored pencils do look the nicest mostly. But crayons, like this is made with crayons. So once it's done, I've just colored it, and as you can see, looks like a little Lego. One side, if you made it against the edge, one side, they should be kind of attached like this. So once you fold it over, then you're going to take your tape and take it off, find the edge, and you're just going to tape around it when leaving this side open. I already taped most of it, but just for shows, you can take your piece like this, put it on there, and then just flip it over and tape it. I'm sorry if you can hear noises in the background, but that's that. And you're going to have the two open ends. You're going to take a piece of tape and just close the end up. So this is, and you don't want much holes in it because otherwise it won't be very squishy at all. I mean, not squishy at all, because this one has a hole in it, as you can see right there. So you're just going to want to make sure that it's going to be less squishy. Well, then you're going to take your fill, so you don't want too much. Like, you don't want it to stuff it in like that much because that could be a squishy. So you're just going to take a bit of it, make sure it's really fluffy. And you're just going to gently push it in because you don't want it to be all crazy. I'm just going to put a bit more. So once you have it in, you can push it in there, get it to shape, and then you're just going to close up your end. So mine has a bit of stuff at the end, and you don't want either too much tape because otherwise it won't make it squishy. So I just made this really thin one. The bigger your squishy, the more squishy it is. So here's like this one with a plastic bag. You can also fill it up with, of course, whatever you want. This Twix is a really good one. So that is pretty much it for the paper squishy. So the next squishy I'm going to be teaching you how to make is a regular squishy. So let's head on over to making the regular squishy. Okay, so for the next squishy, we have foam squishies. They're really easy to make, but they take quite a while to dry. But they're super simple. So the supplies that you'll need for this are scissors, your foam. So I just got this big foam block. And then you're also going to need puffy paint or fabric paint. So I'm using this fabric paint, Scribbles fabric paint, and I have a bunch of colors, whatever colors you want. And then I also have some slick fabric paint. So you can also use fabric fusion so if you want to like attach a piece like this to this better, then you can use fabric paint. So the ones that I've already made are this one, which is a little ice cream sandwich, a little macaroon, and this one, which is a work in progress, but it's going to be kind of a cream puff with some cream here. So to start, you're just going to take your piece of foam and cut out a piece. So I just cut out a piece, and now you're just going to decide what you're going to make. So I think I'm either going to make another cream puff or another little macaroon. So either way, these are both pretty much big enough to do them, but I'm going to do a cream puff, I think. So to make your cream puff, you're just going to start off by kind of squishing it down. And I'm just going to kind of cut a circle around it. Really easy. Just cut in a circle. And then you can just continue by shaping the squishy until you get it how you want it to look. So I'll be back when I'm happy with my shape and have finished the shape that... Okay, so I'm back and I'm pretty happy with the shape that I've made, and this can take some time, but I am making a mini cream puff. So once you've got your cream puff, you can either make like a full one like this, or you can cut like a hole out of it. And I think I'm gonna make mine with a hole out of it. So when you're going to take the hole out of it, you can just cut that and then kind of make it a little bumpy so it looks like someone really did take a bite out of it. So there's the cream puff. So now to mix your colors, that's what I'm going to get into. Okay, so to mix the colors, you're just going to want your plate. I also recommend having some popsicle sticks to paint with instead of paintbrushes. It just seems easier to me. And also toothpicks are helpful to stick the cream puff on and to hold and paint it. So I'm going to use my brown slick paint, and you're just going to put a bunch. And you don't need a ton, considering you're going to make it pretty good and not massive, but And then you're gonna just take your white. I'm gonna put a pile of white over here. And the white should be the one you have the most of. And it needs, actually, you're gonna be surprised on how much each one takes to create. How much like paint and colors it takes to create. I'm also putting some orange there too, just so I have, and a little bit of black, just so I have to make it a bit more realistic. So then you're gonna take your bun or whatever you're making. I'm making like a cream puff bun kind of a thing, and you're gonna decide what color you want. So for me, I'm gonna take my popsicle stick. I'm gonna make it into the white because we don't want it too dark. So I'm gonna take a little bit of the brown. I'm just gonna kind of start mixing it. You can see that it barely did anything. With paint, it uses quite a bit. So then I'm gonna add more. And I'm just gonna continue on doing this until I like the color. So if you think that it needs more white, then you can just add a bit more white. I also recommend adding sometimes a bit of orange. And you don't need much orange if you're gonna add orange, but it just makes it have that more realistic kind of a tone to it. And you're gonna use quite a bit of orange actually, depending on how you want it to look. And even a tiny drop of black. Don't use too much black, that's the only thing that I do recommend, is not using too much black. But really, you just keep mixing, mixing, mixing until you find it at a color that you like. So I'm still mixing, and you're gonna notice that it kind of almost looks purpley, but it really isn't that purple in real life. To fix some of the purpling, you can even add like a dab of yellow. I just have this yellow kind of a color. And this is just what I do, and sometimes like your paint won't come out, and that means you just cut a little snippet off the top and it'll help it. Depending on how old your paint is, this is pretty old and had some grossness on it because I used to do these a while back. Ooh. As you can see, there was a bit of an air bubble there, so I'm just mixing in the yellow, and that's just making it a bit more brown. And of course, you can always add more brown itself. Whatever you think it needs to make it. All right, so I'll come back when I'm happy with the color. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with my color. So when you're painting your squishy, I recommend taking a toothpick and sticking it. And it's a little easier. You can also kind of pinch it there too. And then you're gonna take this, your squishy, and just take a glob of paint and just kind of drip it around everything. And then you're just gonna kind of rub it. Rub it all in, make it all nice. And just continue to do this until your full squishy is covered in whatever colors you want. And let's say you just wanted like red, then you can just buy a red puffy paint and use that, or you can mix it. But yeah, pretty much whatever you want. There's like a piece of foam there, so I'm just gonna take that out. And that's one thing, is to make sure that like when you're shaving, there'll be little pieces, and just try to make sure that all those are gone. Obviously, I missed some, but that's all right. And then just keep painting. So I'll come back when this is fully covered. Oh, and you can do it in kind of a different way. So if you want to do it in a different way, you can literally go like this and just kind of smooth it out and have it so thick like that. It does make it look slightly more shiny than more matte, but yeah, whatever you want to do. So I'll come back when this is fully painted. Okay, so I'm back and I fully painted the cream puff. So now what I like to do is actually take this block of foam that I have over here and take my toothpick and stick it in it. and once it's in it, and as you can see I did the bottom, but once it's stuck in it, then I just take it and put it in front of a fan just like this. Just stick it in, like you can see, and then I just stick it in front of the fan and then wait for it to dry, and every once in a while rotate it so you can get it to dry fully. Okay guys, so they finished drying, and well, off camera I did the big one and I added white filling to it, as you can tell. But this one I haven't done anything to. This is just one coat. Sometimes you want to add 2 coats depending on what you like. I'm just gonna leave it at 1 though, because I like the feeling of this better. So to finish this off, I'm gonna have, for the little one, I'm gonna put chocolate filling with a darker kind of a chocolate drizzle on top, and possibly a little berry or something. But here's the plate again, and you can actually store it in a plastic bag if you still have leftover paint like I do here. Okay, so I'm gonna finish this off by just getting ready an area, and I'm gonna pour some paint because I don't need much, and then I'm just gonna want it to be a little dark but also a bit light still. So I want it to be a kind of a milk chocolatey, and this isn't necessarily milky right now, and I want it to look more milky. So I'm just gonna mix this up. And this is a I really do like the color it's creating. It looks pretty gray on camera, but it actually is brown. And now to make it just a little bit lighter with some more brown, I'm gonna add a little bit of white. We just don't want too much white, because otherwise it'll turn gray. And then add a bunch more brown to make it even more chocolatey. So it's pretty chocolatey right now, but we want it a bit more and that seems about good. First, and then I'll just put a little bit of this so you can see how it was before. So before it's a bit more bright, but what I'm going to do then is I'm going to take a bit of this, and I'm going to take, I'm painting with a toothpick right now, so I don't know if you can exactly see, but painting with a toothpick, and I'm just going to, because that will allow you to get all those areas. Cover it like that, and do however though you want it. Some people will go all the way to the bottom, some people will just go to the middle a bit, but for this one I'm going to go quite a bit. And then I'm going to take a popsicle stick, not a toothpick. I'm going to kind of go in then and spread it all around once I got it. If you want, add a little bit more. I'm pretty sure you guys can see it. One second, I'm just wiping a bit off. I just wiped some off the bottom there. And I'm gonna move out here so you guys can see what I am doing. You can just wipe that there, make it look like that. Then I'm gonna use a little bit of this, which is actually what we use for the filling. For the top part. And I'm just gonna kind of mix a bit of both and make it look really chocolatey. Squish it a bit to make it have some texture, and of course a bit more brown. And it's okay if you add quite a bit on the first one because you want it to look pretty chocolatey. And then just wipe across the bottom. So that's what I'm going to do for the filling on this one. And then I'm also going to add a chocolate drizzle. So for the chocolate drizzle, I'm just going to take this, and as you can see, I cut it a bit lower than I normally would, so it has like a base or bigger tip. And I'm just going to gently first practice on my plate with a steady, and I'm either going to go like that, I think. Okay. So now I'm just gonna move this out of the way. hopefully you guys, yes, you can see that. So now I'm just gonna add, and it's okay if you mess up. So as you can see, it's pretty thick through there, but it's pretty cute. And then back here, I messed up a bit because there's not frosting. So that's what I'm doing for this. Now we're gonna move to the next one. And I'm just gonna do this, and this is really simple. Take your toothpick and put a little bit of paint right on the toothpick. And once you have it on the toothpick, I'm just gonna go through and add little sprinkles in the frosting. So really, really simple, really, really easy. And then, of course, we have to put it back in the drying rack in front of a fan. I let these dry. Some of them I let dry overnight, depending on how much you use. You can also use kind of this glittery paint to make like a pretty one. That would make a really pretty kind of gloss, which I'm putting on top of this one. And then, of course, orange. Orange comes out really fast. I'm using this more vibrant orange, so you can tell that's really vibrant. And you can always fix them by using the toothpick and kind of moving it around a bit. And finally, I'm gonna take my green paint, and like I said, I either recommend using slick fabric paint or puffy paint for fabric. This is just fabric puffy paint. 3D fabric paint is what I'm using, actually. I just wanted to make sure that and then that's how it's looking right now. It's really, really basic to do, but it makes it look really pretty. What I'm gonna do now, finally, is I'm just gonna add this, and this is kind of a clear, almost, my dog is getting in the garbage. Charlie! Charlie! Thank you. Sorry about that. And I'm just gonna add this kind of glitter topping. You're gonna add quite a bit because this stuff really likes to get soaked up. So as you can see, just adding kind of a glaze almost. I want it to look like a glaze, a glittery kind of a glaze, since it's really like a fairy one. And these make them just look really pretty. Help it look better. Because if your thing's pretty plain, it's glittery, pretty, and then just wipe all the sides to make sure there's not big clumps. Because it's a glaze, glaze I don't think is very clumpy. I'm just gonna add a bit on the sides just to get it to come down the sides a bit more. And I'm gonna then go put this on the drying rack in front of the fan with a toothpick in the bottom of it. You know the drill. And then, I will be back when it is done, fully drying and ready to squish. This might be tomorrow, this might be just later today. I'm guessing it's gonna be later today, but yeah, I will see you in a little bit. Hi guys, so I'm back, and you can see that I've finished them and that they are drying. I mean that they're done drying, not that they're drying. And so here's the one with the sprinkles and the glaze. And here's the one I cut and showed you how to make. This is the chocolate filling with the chocolate drizzle on top. And as you can see, the chocolate drizzle does look pretty realistic. And so these are the foam squishies. Well, those are all my ways to make squishies right now. Anyway, thanks for watching. Tell me if you want in the comments below if you want me to go in depth into any of these squishies. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye, guys.